Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, the third and final video for Rift's Worldbook 5, Triax, and the NGR. Now, we're going to talk about adventure ideas. To do that, we have to talk about gargoyles, because for the NGR, gargoyle is synonymous with the boogeyman. This is what they're trying to defend themselves against, and they got a lot of ground to cover because there is a lot of bad guys, and they all think humans are meat.
We believe that role-playing games should take place in fantastic worlds. The focus of the game should be on role-playing and having a good time. The core values of #RPGate and any good tabletop group are escapism, not representation, entertainment over activism, and natural, organic inclusion, not forced diversity. The charity we support is the Wounded Warrior Project, a national, nonpartisan organization whose mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors. Please refer to the description below for the link to where you can make your hopefully tax-deductible donation. Join us Thursday and Saturday evenings on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth to watch Heathen Dog and his team of dirty casuals play multiplayer games for your mockery and enjoyment. Here on our YouTube channel, you can watch these game-related segments live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time, or check out the Friday Night Show stream where our panel of guests opine, comment, and editorialize on the TTRPG hobby as a whole. Please like this video and leave a comment to appease the algorithm gods. Share this video on your favorite social media platforms to help us peer out of the shadows cast over us. And if you have not done so already, please subscribe to Legion of Myth for more tabletop RPG goodness.
All right, here we are. Now, gargoyles, like many species, races, they come in many different flavors. There's the leader class, there's the warrior class, there's the gump class, right? We're gonna talk about all of them briefly, but mostly we're going to focus on the warrior class because that's the most of them. So let's head over to Gargoyle page. That's Gypsy. I've done that already. There's gargoyles. About gargoyles. They're subspecies of demon, supernatural beings from other dimensions. Most demons are predatory beasts that either prey on humans or DBs or like to torment and hurt them. Gargoyles eat us for food. They literally call us meat. That we're just meat to them. And when you first see a gargoyle, you think that they're lizards. They're not. They're actually closely related to birds. Yeah, just FYI there. That's all it is. Regardless of what exactly gargoyles may be and how they rate against other supernatural creatures compared to humans, they are powerful giants who possess supernatural strength, limited psionic powers, and some degree of magic, depending on your flavor. Like so many other supernatural beings and creatures of magic, gargoyles traditionally rely on their supernatural powers and size, but they've started to smarten up. Now, at first, the NGR thought that gargoyles were stupid. Now, on average, they are less intelligent than humans, but not by what I'd call a significant amount. And I'm going to show you that in a second. So they have learned the tactics and the tools of their enemies. So now they started using power armor for the ones that are small enough to fit in power armor. Most gargoyles are 12 feet and higher in height and weight. And they started using energy weapons, vibro weapons, stuff like that. They're not cool enough or smart enough to have infrastructure to build it themselves, but they can repair and maintain it. They learned over the decades of fighting the NGR, they've learned that they can maintain it, but they can't build it themselves. That's really the only saving grace here that we have. Like birds, gargoyles are animalistic creatures who are driven by instinct more than intellect. More than, not in lieu of. So they can think out stuff, but they have predatory instincts that are there all the time. They don't have families and rarely develop friendships. A mated pair join only for the purpose of procreation, and then they both skedaddle. They stay together only long enough to spawn, lay eggs, place them in a hatchery, help protect them as they hatch, and when the offspring go, they go their separate ways. That's it. It's a transactional relationship only. We're here to make kids, to enhance the gargoyle agenda, race, whatever, and then we go off and do our own thing. Awesome. Go for it. Now, here are the different hierarchy of gargoyles. There's a picture down here somewhere. trying to find. There we go. There we go. There you go. Here we have your typical gargoyle, about 15 feet tall, between 12 and 15 feet. Typical gargoyle. Then you have your gargoyle lord. These are ones that genetically are just bigger, stronger, faster, smarter. Then you have your gurgoyle, which is a smaller gargoyle with no wings. You're laughing again. Gargoyle, yeah. And then you have your gargoyle light. This is a little 3-foot kick dog of a gargoyle. The only problem is this little 3-foot kick dog has 1d4 times 100 MDC.
What?
Yes. Yes. Even the little ones are murder machines to a normal human. Even the little ones. And they are also really strong. So they can probably tear you in half. It's kind of like fighting an orangutan. You don't want to do it. You're going to lose. Probably your arms or legs or groin. You're going to lose one of them. It's the same thing. So let's take a look at the normal gargoyle. Normal gargoyle.
Everyday common garden variety.
Everyday common garden variety, 15-foot tall murder machine. This is a gargoyle. We don't care about gargoyle.
It looks like a lizard. Hey, it's a scrang.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Gargoyles are huge demonic-looking creatures who appear to be giant lizard humanoids, but like I said, more closely related to birds. The gargoyle's reptilian appearance is deceptive because they are warm-blooded. Although considered to be demons, they are creatures from another dimension. Gargoyles have a pack mentality and travel in vast flocks. Like I said, like birds, and instinctually they're not bound by their instincts like an animal, but they are influenced heavily by their instincts. That's important. Gargoyle attributes: IQ 2d6. That's an average of 7. A dumb human, but not
Still no negatives though.
Yeah, still no negatives there. Well, for this version anyway. Yeah, still no negatives. I think an IQ of 7 or 8 or less starts having negatives for IQ. I believe
I didn't think it was that high, but you might be right.
Yeah. But not really, really dumb. But what they have is 24 plus 2d6 strength. And it's considered supernatural. So they are MDC creatures as well. 1d6 times 100 plus 100 MDC. That is an average of around 450 MDC. That is more than most brand new dragon hatchlings.
That's does a creature man size have that much MDC? I don't get it.
Oh, they're not. We're gonna get to the gargoyle light in a second. Gargoyles can fly. Both gargoyles and gurgoyles have superior night vision, hawk-like vision. Tails are not prehensile, but agile and strong enough to be used to hit a target, so they can be used like a bludgeon. Basically, you just can't carry stuff with it. You don't have a nightcrawler tail. Restrained claw attack does 46 SDC. Full strength claw punch inflicts 3d6 MDC. Gargoyles with a PS of 31 or higher.
Claws and just rips right through you, and you just fall into 4 pieces.
Yeah. That's what they do. And they have psionics, not a lot. 1d4 times 10 ISP, not a lot. And they only get meditation, mind block, present sense, sense magic, telepathy, resist hunger, resist fatigue, and resist thirst. Now, all of this is not directly combat powers, but they are combat adjacent. Resist hunger, resist fatigue will allow you to move your troops from one area to another really fast, really quickly, and you can get to a combat area and be ready before the enemy is ready to repel you. That's great. That's awesome. And mind block and sense magic stops people from sensing you and allows you to sense other people around you, which again is great for a frontline soldier. You're going to be harder to take them by surprise. And they have skills: detect ambush, detect alignment, detect concealment, escape artist, intelligence. This isn't like, oh, they're really smart. No, this is like gathering useful tactical data. That's what that means. They're trained in it. You can be trained in something and be good at it and still be stupid. Intense training makes up for lack of intelligence in almost every battle situation. Prowl, climb, swim, gurgles only because it's hard to swim with wings. I get it. That's fine.
That Gargoyle name is driving me crazy. I'm waiting to see like a parody Gargoyle.
Gargoyle? No.
Notice I'm not laughing with this one.
I understand.
Actually annoying.
Gargoyles between 10 and 20 feet tall, wingspan of 20 feet, and weighs between 1,200 and 2,000 pounds. So they're no joke. The Gargoyle Lord is a gargoyle, but amped up a little bit in every way. They're smarter, they're stronger, they're faster, they have better psionics, they have they don't have magic. Only gargoyle mages can use magic, but they have better psionics, and they have a special ability. It is the Lord possesses a special ability far beyond the normal gargoyle. One is the startling metamorphosis into living stone. This transformation can be performed 3 times per day, increasing MDC by 200 points.
You just asked. Well, I'm going to ask the question anyway. That just answered at least for the Lord. But I was going to ask the question like, do these things look, act / feel like stone?
Only the Lords, because they have that special
and they
ability.
still have 400 MDC.
The Lord has 1d4 times 100 plus 300. So
we're talking about the smaller one before, and that's
yeah. The smaller one had an average MDC of around 450. The Lords have an average MDC of around 550, but 3 times per day, 6 hours per activation, they can gain a plus 200 to their MDC and plus 1d6 to all of their armed and unarmed attacks. Because of their stone skin, or I'm sorry, unarmed attacks, because of their stone skin, at the reduction of flying at half speed and speed down by 1/3.
And again, I understand that for the Lord. I guess what's driving me crazy on this is the fact that I'm still trying to picture that 3-foot tall gargoyle having MDC, knowing what MDC is supposed to be. And if it's not made out of stone, it doesn't make any sense.
Then the Gargoyles. Gargoyles are comparatively tiny, squat version of the Gargoyle Lords and maybe further evidence of the Gargoyle strain's evolution. Physically, the creatures are unimposing. They stand only 3 feet tall, have round, pudgy bodies, stumpy legs, small, seemingly undeveloped wings. As for instincts, Gargoyles do not share the aggressiveness and joy of combat of their larger kin, but tend toward mischief, thievery, deception, and manipulation rather than whole-scale destruction. They're imps, basically, yes. They're the imp version of a gargoyle. They also lack the lust for power and need to dominate others, but are obsessive and psychotically greedy for precious and semi-precious stones.
Well, that just fed right into this one.
Dwarf gargoyles. Yes, there it is. And here we go. 1d4 times 100 MDC. Why? Because they're supernatural creatures. F you. That's why.
No, I get it. I just like to have there be some sort of verisimilitude when it comes to other than the fact that Rifts is an MDC game, but I that's fine.
Yeah. Natural abilities. The Gargoylite possesses every time I say it, it sounds stupid. You're right. Very similar to the Gargoyle Lord. Metamorphosis into living stone can be performed 3 times per day, increasing MDC by 100 and adding 1d6 to punches and kicks, but reduces speed by 1/3. Flight is still possible in stone form, but at half speed. Same thing as the Gargoyle Lord, except instead of getting plus 200, they get plus 100. So instead of averaging about 250, they average about 350 MDC once they enable this. And like I said, each activation lasts 6 hours. They can activate 3 times per day. If they lose the stone skin, they can reactivate immediately, get another 100 right there. So they're no joke, except for what they look like. This is a joke. That's what they look like. It looks like the Chucky version of a gargoyle.
That head looks so oversized. That's like a bobblehead doll.
It does, yeah. It does look.
Sorry,
but
Kevin.
Here's the thing. They're also supernaturally strong. A normal full-strength claw or punch does 2d6 MD. This thing is as big as a toddler, and it will rip your arms out of your sockets. It can pop your head off like a dandelion. This thing is crazy. And what do? Well, they sneak into places. They steal stuff. They can plant bombs. They can murder top brass.
Kool-Aid Man through the wall. Come on.
They could Kool-Aid Man through the wall, but they're not like that. They're that super violent type thing. They're going to sneak in through air vents, and then they're going to pop out of an air vent and rip your head off, and then get back in the air vent and go away. But while they're doing it, they're going to pick your pocket or take your wedding ring. This is gross. Don't ever do this.
Gargoyle player character.
Don't ever do this. This is gross. Don't do it. Don't do it. Now, how dumb are they? They gotta be dumber than even a gargoyle. Right? They gotta be dumb, right? Nope. They're actually smarter than a regular gargoyle. 2d6 plus 2. Okay, this is just under a smidge, a hair under human average intelligence. They're basically statistically irrelevantly the same as a human. The same. 1 point away. If it said plus 3, they'd be the same. Strength is only 18 plus 1d6. That's still, for something 3 feet tall, that's gross. Over 20 strength and being the size of a toddler.
Supernatural strength, or is it regular?
It's supernatural strength.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because a full strength punch does 2d6 mega damage. So yeah, man, this thing is deceptively crazy. You look at it and you're like, oh, this is nothing. I'm gonna tickle it. Give it a biscuit.
If I dissect one and it doesn't have hydraulics in there, I'm calling shenanigans.
Well, you're gonna have to call shenanigans because what they got in there is magic. They got magic in there. So I had to go through all of this just so I can get to the part where the adventure, because this is the adventure if you are having an NGR campaign.
All right.
Because the gargoyles and all of their super friends are what you are fighting against. Okay, and by super friends, I mean Splugorth.
Oh, really?
Yes, they're funding the gargoyles because NGR is a threat. The New Phoenix Empire in Egypt, when we talk about Africa, yeah, they're funding the gargoyles as well because guess what? NGR is a threat. So the NGR is getting ganged up by a lot of supernatural beings that are evil. And they've been holding their own for 100 years.
Are the gargoyles like the vampires where it's just them, or do they have other units that are interesting and unique that go with them?
Well, gargoyles historically have been foot soldiers for stronger supernatural beings. They're kind of like mercenaries. Anyone who's a supernatural creature can be leader of a gargoyle clan as long as you're the strongest person in the clan. That's how they decide who their clan or family leaders are. The strongest person in it. And you don't have to be a gargoyle to be that strong. You just have to be a supernatural creature because humans are food.
Gotcha.
Not leaders, they're meat. So they have a long history of serving other masters and dying on the front line because of it. But these gargoyles have been around here for 100 years now, and they started to pick up stuff. They're their own masters now. They're being funded in the shadows by other great powers, but they're not directly under the heel of these great powers. So your adventure as a citizen of the NGR is to defend your home against supernatural threats from gargoyles and other supernatural DBs. But in the book, they say they are within 12 years of a full-on offensive against the Gargoyle Empire.
Well, the way Kevin puts out books for this, it'll be about another 215 years before we see that book.
We will. But it actually says in there that the game master can go ahead and make this if they want. Like this is what is going to happen. You can do it. So your campaign can be the final push, the eradication of the supernatural threat of the from the to the NGR. You can play that campaign.
And to be clear, I'm not saying he writes like George R.R. Martin. No, Kevin's a prolific writer. He writes a lot of stuff, but the timeline never changes until like 30 books get released, and we'll move it a year in advance. Like what?
There you go. So that really is your deal. I mean, you can make with supposition or a little bit of creative writing here and there. You can make a campaign where the NGR and the CS come together and form an intercontinental union, a beautiful, beautiful merging of the two greatest human societies on the planet whose sole reason for now existing as a human as a human stomper conglomerate is to kill all the supernatural creatures on this planet, cap off all the nexus nodes so no one can walk through again, and keep Earth for humans only. You can run that campaign. You can do that. Absolutely fine. NGR rolls through the Gargoyle Empire, mows them down like weeds, and then decides to keep going because they found out what the Splugorth and the New Phoenix Empire were doing. And we got some words with you about that.
Does the NGR have the power to actually hurt the Splugorth?
No, but they can put a dent in Northern Africa. They can do that. So the New Phoenix Empire should, if the Gargoyles go down, they should be, trembling a little bit because the shit's rolling downhill and you're at the bottom of that mountain. So you can do those adventures. That's great. The thing is, the book really wants you to do the Gargoyle Menace at least first. So I recommend you do that. The book gives you a lot of good background. The book gives you a lot of hierarchy of the Gargoyle society. So you know exactly what to do, why to do it, what they're going to do in response to NGR people doing this. The playbook is laid out there for you. It's just not laid out so much like it's a module, right?
What can you do for like infiltration or say support character? Your vagabond, your city, whatever this version of the game has, equivalent to that.
It's the gypsy.
Outside, just smacking some gargoyles around.
Okay, outside of just smacking some gargoyles around, like I said, the game wants you to do that. But if you don't want to do that, then you can be just like in North America. You can be explorers. You can be scouts for the NGR. Like, here's where the Gargoyle Empire is. Here's us. What the hell is over here? Because we are now getting some other supernatural creatures coming from this side. Go out there, figure out what the hell their deal is and how we got to murder them, and come back and tell us. You can do that. Because Europe is very close to everything else in Europe. You can feasibly, walk or use APCs to get from country to country to country and then report back to what you find. You can do that all day. You want to take a boat trip to the UK? You can do that from Germany. Easy peasy. Well, I'm not going to say easy peasy. It's going to be horrible. But but distance wise, it's doable.
If you make it, you'll be happy.
If you make it, then if you make it there and back, good luck, by the way, then you're going to have some great information. You're going to get promoted. It's going to be awesome. All right. So Europe being as small as it is, as densely packed as it is, and the countries, being, well, they're not really countries anymore, but you know what I mean? The areas being so small, you can feasibly get to them even on foot. I mean, that's going to be horribly difficult, but you could do it. Like, you couldn't go from, say, Alabama to Canada on foot. You're not doing that. You're not. But can you get from Germany to France on foot? Yeah. Yeah, you could. It would be horribly difficult. It would take months, but you could do it. So you can use that. But like I said, they really want you to start off with the conflict with the Gargoyles, because that is the thing that is happening now, because the NGR is, like I said, gearing up to go on a full offensive. All this defensive crap, nah, it's in the past. Now we're on the attack. And the NGR will not balk at some amazing tactics that were once called war crimes. If they find a hatchery, they're going to go all Ripley on that hatchery and burn it to the ground with a flamethrower. It's going to be great. They'll bring the marshmallows. They don't care. They're monsters. You don't give monsters considerations. The only reason they can speak is to screw with you. That's all demons do. The only reason they learned how to speak human language is to lie. Don't listen to them. Just kill them. So those are those. Like I said, they're not a whole lot of adventure ideas, but this book really spells out the Gargoyle invasion campaign really, really well. Anyone can do it just with this book alone. and the main book. Main book and this book alone, you can do that campaign and make it last at least a year. It's great. So what do we have for comments?
Okay, pardon the coughing there. The mute wasn't working because I wasn't on the right page.
No, I didn't hear any coughing.
Oh, weird because I wasn't muted. All right, here we go. CS pays psychers well if they join the Psi battalion.
That's true. That's true. If you are psionic and you want to not be a complete second class citizen, if you join the CS military, you will get a position and you'll get respect. No one's gonna look at you like you're not a psychic, but you won't be kicked out of bars or restaurants or whatever. So that's nice.
And this next one I put on here because I think Merhockman needs to take his meds. Subscribe for more Garthon.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It's okay, man. Don't worry about it. Oh no. I think he meant like a Garthon subscribe.
Okay.
Maybe.
So would a vampire waste a gargoyle?
Well, here's the thing. Gargoyles are very tough, hundreds and hundreds of MDC, and they're very strong, supernatural strength. So a small amount of vampires they could take. One could take probably 3 vampires. And vampire was a problem, a possible problem, because there were some vampires in Romania. But the NGR took care of that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. The NGR took care of that one. There aren't any vampires in Romania anymore.
They just make robots with squirt guns?
No, they just tore them apart and burned them. I mean, they didn't bother with all the nonsense. They're just like, tear them apart, burn them up. It's great. Works. I got a 30-foot robot. What's he going to do?
Right.
I think punching my foot. It's going to take you an hour to break through that MDC. So have fun.
This next one I think is more for me than for you, but he says, you guys are awesome.
No, that's more for me.
Oh, definitely. Is it? Okay. And maybe it's mistaken.
Yeah. The other way around.
My bad.
You had the idea transposed.
We got Blood Druids from France to the west, Gargoyles to the south, Mindworks of Poland to the east.
Oh, Mindworks, I forgot. Yes, Mindworks is also funding the Gargoyle by introducing them to the Broodkill and get them as part of the Gargoyle Empire. It sucks.
What is a Mindworks in quick version?
Mindworks is a Polish company. I think it was a Polish company that dealt in mom implants.
Okay.
Before the fall, and they had an underground facility very much like Archie that survived the cataclysm, and it's run by the original head of that complex, but she's in a Borg body with an implant that makes her brain never deteriorate. So she's over 200 years old. Problem is she's also outhouse rat crazy. So yeah, that's bad.
Okay, well, maybe we'll have to cover that at some point. We'll move on to which one says, ironic that by the time of the Megaverse in Flames, the Gargoyles are helping the NGR against the Angel of Death.
That's the Angel of Death. Yeah, the Angel of Death of Mindworks. That's the leader of Mindworks. Because, if you get someone with super brain implants and have them be like double crazy, that's messed up. That is not someone you want to be around. And her crazy spills out of her cup at some point, and she has to be taken care of.
Just so folks know, Heathen Dog's covering this book in the context of this book. Yeah. So things that come afterward, they're
or even adjacently, I'm not actually covering in this book.
Yeah, those will be done in other books. So as the story progresses, we're not doing them in order. I know that, but we're not trying to talk about all the ancillary around it. We're just kind of focused on what's in this book. That's why some of the chats didn't make it on here. Also, Lord whatever the hell, sure, has enough forces off world and in other dimensions that he could wipe out the Zidisek off the face of Rift's Earth. But that show of force would unite the rest of the planet against him.
Yeah, and he wouldn't care. Number one, he doesn't care. The Inve or bug people are in Canada and Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Yeah, no one cares. Of course, Minnesota.
No one cares. Okay, no one cares.
Well, I think Minnesota
doesn't care. Yeah, you care, but even the coalition barely cares. Now,
why is it every time there's a bug infestation, it's in Minnesota?
Yeah, whatever. It's just Minnesota. You're not missing anything.
Whatever game it is, it's stupid bugs. I mean, we do have mosquitoes the size of birds, but hey.
Yeah, there's that.
And then the last one that I started, Gem Tip, just because the gargoyles are a big deal, there's still other stuff running around and more come through the rift that opened last summer solstice. Can't just ignore those things.
That is true. That is true. Like I said, the book pushes you for the Gargoyle Empire campaign, but since like I said, Europe is so small and compact that there's a lot of different things you can do, especially if you want to get other books. If you want to get the UK book, if you want to get the Russia book, the China book, it's all doable. It's all doable. But this book specifically pushes the Gargoyle narrative because that's the main impending threat to the longevity of the NGR.
All right. Well, that's all we've got. So hope everybody liked that. Like, subscribe, and share. Hope you're ready to do some gargoyle stomping. And I've got nothing else. That's all I've got to end that one. This exciting 3 segments was, just toned down to, hope you liked it.